Mello, how are you? Hopefully Mello or somebody can join us for this main discussion.
She says she's trying to get settled to see if she can join for the actual segment, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
let's see. Don't forget about the Facebook comments. I do
Oh,
every single time.
I got Facebook pulled up.
You got it pulled up? Okay. I
Yep.
was gonna hop on.
Let me make sure. Let's make sure. Yes, ma'am. I have it pulled up.
Okay, perfect. How is everybody's I was gonna say Friday. Oh my gosh. How's everybody's hump day?
How many humps does a camel have?
2?
Ooh, you're a smart girl.
Am I smart?
You cheated.
I cheated? How did I cheat? How could I possibly have looked it up that
You just cheated simply because you're too smart.
fast?
Yeah, they can have up to 2 humps.
Can they? Or
Now,
3?
now if a camel has 1 hump, are they less than the
I
camel with
think
2 humps?
the number of humps decide like if it's a female or male. I could be wrong though.
Ooh.
I could be wrong. I thought that was always what it was, but I could be wrong. We'll have to look that up.
Well, I'm not a camel, so.
Well, I'm not a camel, so I wouldn't know.
All right, let's welcome everybody to our show. Welcome,
Hey, Rob.
welcome. Welcome to the Truth by Shenanigans Unscripted. If this is your first time joining our broadcast, we are strictly opinion based. Okay? We use our own experiences to have meaningful, organic conversation. We are, raise your hand, Gianni, raise your hand, often off topic, but we're always unscripted. There is never a right or wrong here.
That's true. And if you do have something to say, when you can join us live on Instagram, of course, just request to join and we'll add you in. And if you are viewing from other platforms, you can always comment and we'll read your comment out loud. So let's get unscripted.
I am Olivia E. from the planet Uranus.
Yes. Why Uranus?
Because the word to describe Uranus was bizarre and unique. And today I feel a little bizarre. I feel a little unique.
Unique, eccentric. Very good. Very good wording. And I am Gianni from Jupiter, of course. So today we are going to have some fun. I'm first going to start off like I always do with some good vibes, some astrological forecasts. We have a new moon coming up on May 11th. The new moon will be in Taurus. So first of all, we have the new moon, so that means you have to start planting seeds or planting intentions or however people think logically or imaginative. You're gonna plant seeds in the areas of like comfort, indulgence, physical pleasure, good food, like leisure time, and of course like money, because it's an earth sign, so it talks about the tangible things. Hey Liz. So for Olivia, who is a Leo, this new moon in Taurus is spotlighting your 10th house. I love the roar. Yeah, very cute. It's spotlighting your 10th house, which is your career or your public persona. So this is going to be like a portal for you to walk through and benefit from anything that you plant, like any seeds of intention that you plant for your career or your, like I said, your public image. And you're welcome.
Thank you.
Mellow. Thank you. Poetic.
Hold on. There was some. Oh, Robbie said camels has 2.
Camels have 2 humps. Yep.
Dromedary. I have a college degree, $100,000 degree, and I don't know how to pronounce this word. Okay? This is a problem.
Dromedary has.
Dromedary has one.
Oh.
I don't know what that
I
is.
only thought camels were the only one of its kind. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
So.
Okay. Hey, Tasha.
Oh. So we're going to get into
A recap.
Okay. So if any of you all missed the TLS live show, the TLS live show recap was Black
Tongue tie. It's okay.
Millennial wealth,
Yep.
manslaughter charges in Canada for people hosting COVID parties, Josh Dugard, the child porn scandal, gross, ew.
Gross.
And
Yeah.
teaching Black history considered divisive. So that's the recap from the TLS live show if you missed it on Sunday.
Yes. And if you guys do want to tune into the Truth Lie Shenanigans show, the actual live show, it's on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now we're going to do something different. We're going to do our food review. So our food review is something new where we'll try interesting and trending foods and snacks. This one is inspired by the TLS's, what is it called? The Morning Woodja. It's on Facebook. And we're going to be having the mayo chup, which is, yep, there you go. O has the actual, like, the one you can buy at the stores. And I made I made mayo chup the old-fashioned way that we did in 7th grade with our little box pizza. So we're trying the mayo chup challenge, and yeah. Today, we're pairing it also with our Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah.
I must
And we're
say,
gonna try it.
can I say about the mayo chup? One,
Yes.
I smelled it, and it smells disgusting.
Yeah, you said you were nauseous after
Let me see.
after that.
It doesn't smell as bad this time, but it smelled real bad.
That's because you're accustomed now.
Now, this has 160 calories for 2 tablespoons. This is a whole cheeseburger. This sauce is a whole cheeseburger.
Ew, that's kind of gross.
I'm going to try.
I'm nervous.
Gianni, I hate mayonnaise. But I'm going to try it with you.
Okay.
And we're going to see what happens now. So we have let's unwrap our spicy chicken sandwich. I
broke mine up in 4. Oh, shoot. I broke mine up into little 4s pieces.
Okay. Come eat with us, you guys. We're going to eat first. Okay.
Okay. Oh, God.
I broke mine in 3.
Let me know when you dip. Are you dipping?
No, not yet. I put my sauce in like a little.
Oh, cute! You have the whole little setup.
So should we taste our spicy chicken sandwich by itself first?
Yes, let's taste it by itself.
Okay.
It better be spicy. It's basic.
It's not spicy.
Yeah, it's not. I knew it wasn't be. I would give it. It's kind of dry.
So this or Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A, what?
And this, by the way, this sandwich has
bad.
like 1,000 calories in it. Not 1,000, it's like 600 calories, I think.
This one sandwich?
Yeah. It's like, I haven't eaten this food in like forever. All right, so wait.
Okay.
Should I take another?
It's not bad. He's like, should I take another piece to eat?
I'm trying
like it, huh?
I'm trying to avoid dipping it in this sauce.
I know. I just want to get it over with. I'm kind of tempted.
Okay, hold on. My camera. No, I'm not ready yet. Hold on.
Actually, I can feel the spice. It's like after. It's like an after. It's like there on your tongue or something.
It
Is
is
it good?
good. I mean,
It's pretty good. It's okay.
I it's
It's not
good,
horrible.
but I wouldn't. This
What
is
would you rate it on a 1 through 10?
the sandwich by itself. I would rate it 5.
That's not good. I would rate it a. Let me see.
No, let me see again.
Yeah, 5. Yeah,
It's so basic.
it's a 5. It's basic. It's very basic. I should have got tomato. Okay.
Oh, by the way, for my sandwich, I customized it. I only got
What?
lettuce and tomato. I didn't get the mayonnaise. How did you customize yours?
I didn't. I only got lettuce, and that's it.
So they thought they said y'all thought y'all pulled up the Burger King, okay?
Yeah, because it was like I can't with the tomato. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
like tomatoes like that.
All right, you ready? I'm
It's so
scared.
basic. Yeah. Okay, ready?
So we're gonna like really do it or like just taste it?
Oh, I'm scared. I'm just gonna go like this. Just a dip.
Yours.
Oh, that's a thick dip. Okay.
Let me
Ready?
see. No, let me see. Hold on. I gotta see how to gauge mine. Like that?
Yeah, that was a juicy one. Okay.
Ooh, let me take some off.
No, keep it. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yeah. Ew. Okay. Uh.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
Mm. Mm.
Mm, mm.
Mm.
No. Oh,
No.
no.
I wish I would have poured more orange juice.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, they need to
Let me
be.
eat a let me eat a French fry.
Oh, I ate my French fries. I couldn't even handle it. Wendy's has good French fries. I will give them that.
What is this stuff?
I just want it regular now because I have to get that out of my mouth. That taste.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
never
least I didn't throw up.
again. I'm so glad that we didn't have to be a witness to that. Oh my gosh.
People
Yeah,
like this. People like really like this stuff.
that was fun. What would you rate? What would you rate the sauce?
A 0.
Yeah, it was
Or
bad, boy. It wasn't good.
and mine had like junk in it, a whole bunch of junk and like seasoning, and it's still horrible. Have
Yeah.
any of you all watching us? Have you any of you all tried this or made your own chuck? Because to me, it's bad.
He said choke.
What's it called?
So I would rate it. I would definitely rate it a 1.5.
Oh, so you like it?
No. But I do like ketchup separately, and I like mayonnaise separately. So it has to be on the scoreboard somehow. But together, no.
Well, the
You're
spicy
over here eating the whole sandwich.
because the spicy chicken sandwich by itself tastes bomb.
Yeah, after that, it tasted bomb. Like that 5 went to an 8 real quick because that taste was ferocious. Okay, that was very fun.
Okay, you guys,
That was
any of
fun.
you all watching that wants to see us try food, DM TLS Live Show on any of the platforms. Just tag it unscripted, and we'll try any of the foods that you suggest. Well, wait, not any, but
Yeah, don't do
we'll
that.
don't send us like CBD
I like
um
CBD.
okay, don't send us cannabis infused to 1,000 power food, okay? And when you do send us food, please make sure that it's already prepared so we can just buy it
Yeah,
or order it,
like
okay?
food recommendations that you guys have seen, like
And
blue
we'll try it
bananas
right
or
here.
yeah, stuff like that.
Let me have one more
Um,
try.
Yeah, eat a fry, get that. I couldn't even finish it. I'm sorry. I just had to do it for the challenge. I'm not a fast foodie person like
Me
that.
neither. Um,
Okay, let me see. Where are we? Okay, so we already went through the recap, and now we're gonna get into the main subject, which we're gonna be asking the question, which is, sorry, it's about the advantages and disadvantages of living on your own and moving out. At what age should you move out? The question that we're going to be asking everybody is, do you have any regrets either from staying at home or from moving out on your own? And that's what we're going to be revisiting at the end of the main subject, the main topic. Bomb.com. I know, Neo.
so so at the end of the segment, if anybody wants to answer that question with us, join us live on Instagram so you can tell us your regret, if you have any, for moving out or staying home.
Yeah, and you can obviously, comments in the comment sections. We always read the comments out loud. So, this is
Yep.
this is definitely an interesting topic, and you are the one who kind of came up. Well, you did come up with the idea. So, you first brought the idea about people who are of age, adults, if you will, who are living at home with their parents. And we talked about if that is accepted, if that's okay, and under what like guidelines, like what parameters is that okay. So, how do you feel about it? We started off in TikTok. Let's finish here. How do you feel about that?
Okay, first, I think let's tell people what perspective we're coming from. So let's tell people whether you've lived at home, lived alone, or had a roommate, or I think that's the only option. So Gianni,
Yeah,
have you have you lived at home, had a roommate, or lived alone, or with
all
your
three.
spouse?
All, all. Yeah, I've lived alone. I've had a roommate. I've lived with a spouse, and I have lived at home.
Okay.
I've done all four. No, yeah. So I've done all four. Yeah.
So me too. I've lived at home. I've lived with a spouse. I've lived with a roommate. What's the fourth one? I
And
lived.
on your own.
I lived on my own. So
Hey,
that's
Dave.
so for all you all watching. This is the perspective that we're coming from. Um, I think that we can like go back into it, but I I try to think about what I gained from living alone, and
No, I wasn't married, Neo. I thought a spouse just meant like a boyfriend
your
or girlfriend,
partner.
a partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never. No, I was married. Sorry, go ahead, O.
I think that I try to think about what experience I had from living alone and how that benefited my life. And for myself, I really don't see any benefit in living alone and how that benefited my life, not only like myself spiritually, everything, but financially. I think it was all negative, negative, negative for
Yeah.
myself.
Shout out to Good
Um,
Stuff Juices, the best organic cold pressed juice.
do you think there's an age that you should move out, male or female?
um, I mean, that's hard to say because it is circumstantial, and we said that earlier. It's a circumstantial thing. I don't feel like if you move out, if you don't move out at a certain time, then you are like any less responsible or independent or like, you know, like an adult basically. So I think that it is circumstantial. Now we did talk about like people living with their parents who are kind of like freeloading or they're taking advantage of certain things living with their parents. That to me is corny. Obviously, I think that's, oh, Liz said spouse means husband or wife. But yeah, I feel like living with your parents is okay. I personally, I'm not gonna lie though, like unless if you are a guy who is taking care of your mother and father, I personally don't want to date you if you're living with your parents. I don't know why.
Even
Unless
if
it's like you live
you're
in a big,
living,
really big house and it's like
that's what I was
two
gonna say.
separate, complete separate sides or something. Complete.
So
I don't know. It's circumstantial.
you would judge someone that lived at home with their parents
I mean, we judge
at a
everybody
certain
every
age.
day, but I wouldn't judge him like, oh, he's like any less of a person. I would more so think of it like this is like how I don't know if I could get as close to him because his parents are around. And then it's like if your parents are around and it's because you like your mom doing your laundry and cooking your food and stuff, then it's like are you really want to be in a relationship, or are you going to think that I'm going to be doing those things 100% like your mom does? I don't know. It just raises some eyebrows for me when the person lives with their parents kind of for no reason. I don't know.
What about
Am I
if it
that
was
person?
your girlfriend?
If it was a girl?
You're like your girlfriend, like me. Like, let's say I lived
Oh,
at
like my friend.
with my parents. Would you judge me and be like, why she lives at home with her mom? And let's say I have a really good job. I have everything. Would you judge? Would you think that I was not as
I mean,
independent?
I would still think as a woman, it's different for women. It's harder out here in life being a woman. We know that. Safety, all of that cool. But mostly for a woman, I feel like women, I don't know, I just haven't really it could be me, I'm still however old, but it's like I haven't really seen women take advantage of their parents in that way, like where they're like freeloading off their like parents. Actually, I just lied. Yeah, I did. But she was actually in a situation where she really couldn't really afford to be on her own. She wasn't pushing herself to that. She was kind of spoiled. But I don't know. You can't be double standards, right? It has to be the same thing, I feel like. But there's no cutoff age. There's no age that's like, as a woman or as a man, you need to not live with your parents. I think that there's expected like social norms that like maybe by 25, 26, you probably wouldn't live with your parents. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello. My brother's trying to come at me in the comment section right now,
I judged
and
you.
I, I, I was trying to let it go, but he keeps trying to come at me. He said Olivia would, and there's another comment though, where he tried to come at my soul.
You said, hell yeah, you would think he's a mama's boy. Jose said, I agree, Gianni. Lizzie said, LOL, parents in the next room listening. But that's right, right, Liz? That's like, Neo said, I judge you, Olivia. Well, Neo, it's different for women, though, Neo. It's kind of different for women. And oh, you said something about like women have to, like, you believe in women not living with a spouse until
I
they're
think
married
that
or something. Something like that.
looking back on my life, now I'm 36, 37. No, I'm 36. Now looking back on my life, I look back on my life and I think that there was a stupid mistake to try to move out at 19. That was stupid. I look back on the decisions that I made, and I don't think they were thought out and they were smart. I think me living at home, honestly, when I got my first high paying job after college, after going to Ethiopia, after all that, I moved back home with my dad. I was probably 30. And so many good things happened for me. Now, my dad made me pay bills,
That's
right?
another thing we were gonna talk about. Yeah.
He made me pay bills. Now, let me tell you what my dad did when I bought my house. Want me to tell you?
Tell me.
He gave me all that money back. He said, I don't take money from my children. This your
Oh
money.
wow.
And he
So
put
he
it
saved it.
he saved it, and he gave it to me to buy my house. And
Wow.
he says, I just only made you pay bills to show you responsibility, but I don't take money from my children. and
Aww.
he gave it
A
to me,
father.
and that's why I think that it's not always necessary for you to live on your own. I was protected, I was secured, I was paying bills, I was learning all the fundamentals that I needed, but I was still living at home and I was thriving. But at the same time, my father gave me that pot to go have this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think that I didn't have to live on my own to get those fundamentals. I learned that in that moment that those fundamentals couldn't happen at home. Like I don't know what I was searching for, like why I was like reaching for something that wasn't like it it wasn't. I was reaching for something that didn't make sense, and he allowed me to make it make sense. And I think that every parent is not able to do that. But even if I didn't give
Right.
him much money in bills, I only gave him
Right.
I think I paid the cable bill and
Yeah.
electric bill or something like that, and
Yeah.
he gave it
But
back
it
to me.
adds up over time. It
Yeah,
definitely is something, probably a healthy chunk. Wow, that's a very cool story.
yeah.
That's very cool. I like that your dad, like, you know, teaches you lessons and then he like puts it in like like in real life, like a real life example. That's really cool. I respect that. Let's see the comments really quick.
Neo says, how could you learn the fundamentals of surviving without dependence? So, how could you learn the fundamentals of surviving without dependence, Gianni?
I mean, you can't. You have to survive. You have to depend on people. There's a difference, like we said, between taking advantage of people and completely being codependent. But you have to, like I said, you have to live with people, and you can't live without them at the same time. So, I mean, you
Mm.
can't live with people. You can't live without them. So, as when people say that they were independent, like when I was 19 and 20, I thought I was so independent because I lived on my own, and that doesn't. And even living on my own, I was still needing help with bills. I was still like codependent, you know what I mean? But yeah, you learn the fundamentals not through, how could you learn the fundamentals
It,
of surviving without,
but
yeah, that I think that was rhetorical.
but
I'm pretty sure.
are the fundamentals learned because you moved out on your own, or is the fundamentals learned by the actions that you do? Period.
Period. I think period. I
Okay.
think you can learn people, I think you can learn those fundamentals of survival living on your own, because you got to think about it. Some people can't help but live on their own. Like they may not have that family structure, or they had to grow up fast, whatever the case is. I think that they had to learn the fundamentals of surviving um, on their own. So it's the cards you're dealt. Whether you have the luxury to live with your parents, or maybe for a little bit, you know, it's all in what life in adulthood and growing up is. Let me read what Lizzie said. She said, each person is different. I left home at 18 and never looked back. No way could I have lived at home with my mom after graduating high school and after my dad died. Somebody would have caught a case. Neo means independence. Lizzie said, thank you, Lizzie. Damn, figures are autocorrect. Fundamentals of independence. You can learn that living off of others.
So can we talk
Oh, you
about
can't learn that living off of others. Sorry.
that? That comment made me think about the Marvin Gaye situation.
Yeah.
So, so Marvin Gaye, just as we know it, he moved back home
So
after.
explain who, to people who don't know Marvin Gaye. He was a singer, an American soul singer, kind of iconic. If you don't know him, I'm sure everybody does. But just disclaimer.
um yep, and he moved back home after a drug and depression episode. He moved back home with his parents. Now, his mother and her father had some abusive fight, and he intervened, and his dad shot him and killed him. So that makes me think about what happens when you live in a household that is a abusive household. Should you move out of that abusive household?
As an adult,
as an adult? Should you ever
Oh
go
yeah.
into, or should you ever go back into an abusive household as an adult?
No, I don't think you should ever go back to an abusive anything ever, especially if you're an adult and can make that choice. But um, yeah, I didn't know that about Marvin Gaye, that he moved back because he had depression and stuff like that. And but that's interesting. I think that like to move back with your parents as an adult for emotional support, I've heard that
No,
before.
I think it was financial too, because he had lost
Financial.
some cases. Um, he had lost some financial case. He was actually financially down and out. Him and his child moved back in with their parents to kind of, regroup,
Yeah.
which a lot of people do. And he found himself in with his mother and father being in an abusive relationship, and actually tried to intervene. His father killed him. Do you think he would be alive if he never just moved back home?
Wow. If he never didn't come back home, you mean? If he never stayed? That's hard. That's a hard question to ask. Because I think that some can argue that it's inevitable because his dad was abusive in general, so maybe it wouldn't have been that time or that situation. So
Mm.
that's hard to argue. But I don't know. I think that if we're talking Marvin Gaye as an example, but we're talking about people in general, never move back into an abusive situation or something that you feel like, well, we can work this out, it'll work out, I'll go with the flow. Never do that. When you live with somebody, this is just it's just much harder than people think. It's much harder. I'm a very reasonable person, I'm a very easygoing person, but even living with roommates, I was like, oh my gosh, how can we do this? Like, what is going on? um so yes, all circumstantial. If you guys have any comments about that, we're gonna ask another question about, this is gonna like wrap up the main subject, but it's about paying bills. Do you think that if you do live as an adult with your parents, you should pay bills? Do you think that is mandatory?
Um,
You.
I think it's mandatory, but I don't feel like me. I live alone. I have my own house. This all me right here. I don't have nobody else funding this. Daddy don't fund it. Nobody,
Mm-hmm.
besides me and my husband. But I don't feel like me paying my own bills has made me more independent. I don't feel like that. Nothing about paying my own bills makes me feel more than a person. Like I, I, I have so many other experiences that make me more feel independent, feel powerful than paying my own bills. That's me.
Yeah. Good.
I mean, if somebody else paid my bills, I would still be independent. I would still be a,
Exactly.
I still would feel like a great human being.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gaining out of it. I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, um, I feel like kind of the same. I think that like living with your parents, if you have the money to help them and you're not there because of trying to like help your own pockets, like if you're like trying to, if you moved in with your parents because you're trying to save money, I can understand you maybe not paying bills. I don't know, but overall, I would chip in. You got to pay where you stay. Isn't that a thing? Isn't that, I heard that before? Pay where you stay.
No, that makes sense.
Pay where you stay.
So
But yeah.
can I say that when I was looking it up, of, of course we're opinion based, but this opinion made some sense to me that in American culture, it's considered to be a deadbeat or loser or smoocher if you live at home with your parents. But when you consider other cultures, when you consider India or maybe Latin cultures,
Yeah.
they stay at home with their parents
It's
until
true.
they're married.
Yep.
And I just think that we shouldn't compare ourselves to other people. We should do what makes sense for us, and neither person is more independent or dependent because they moved out or lived on their own, because the person that lived at home could be making a silly, stupid mistake, as well as the person that's living on their own paying $2,000-3,000 in rent. Rent. We're not even talking about mortgage. We're talking about rent. That goes.
I know that. I
That
know.
goes. It goes nowhere. It's like just like water washed away.
Yep.
So I guess you have to do what makes sense for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what these conversations are about, like seeing where people are at. And like honestly, like these conversations are interesting because I feel like at the end of the day there are a lot of people in some of the situations that we talk about, and this is just kind of telling you to be okay with who you are. It doesn't it's not about judging, it's really just about relating to people. Hold on, what did Neo say? Oh, okay. Let's read the comments really quick. No, Lizzie said, nope, he likely would have OD'd. Marvin had a serious drug problem. Serious. Neo said, moving out to be on your own does not mean that you shouldn't be welcomed back home when you are having hardships, but the goal should always be to be on your own until you are forced to take care of your parents instead, when they can't take care of themselves. He said, that's not the definition of independence. Any audience want to
Yeah.
talk about this? That logic doesn't make sense. Hey, Chris.
I guess
Which
our
logic?
logic,
About
but we're opinion based, so our logic
yeah.
always makes sense.
Well, that's Neo's opinion. But yeah, that was a good discussion.
Do
Do you
you
have
want
any
to
more questions on?
send any joins?
Oh
Possibly.
yeah, let me send them out. Let me see.
We're gonna send the joins out and see if you all join us.
Mel.
In the meantime, I'm gonna share my charcoal with his Cinco de Mayo outfit.
Charky, cute. Hey, Mello.
Hey, Mello.
Hey.
Look at charcoal.
Look at charcoal.
He still has that flower on?
No, yeah, but it's the Cinco de Mayo outfit.
Oh, okay.
Talk to us, sis. Talk to us.
The question, repeat, because y'all was talking about a lot of stuff.
Okay, so the audience question that we need you to answer, Mello, is: do you have any regrets either from staying at home or moving out on your own?
Oh, by the way, you should start by telling people, have you ever lived on your own, and have you ever lived with someone or with a spouse?
I sent a request to Rob.
Never on my own. Me and my fiance stay together. So that's it. So I never lived on my own.
Okay.
Okay, so do you have any regrets from either of those things?
I would have liked to experience living on my own. I would, just to see, I mean, without kids, just me, just to see how it would have been. But that would never happen now. So,
That's not how the tables turn. Yeah.
Right, exactly. I think it was time for me to move out. I felt like my family was growing, even though I take care of my mom. So that also played a lot of into me, being at home with my family. Oh,
Hey, Rob.
Hey.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Mello.
Hey, how you?
Doing well, doing well. I saw you on TLS Unscripted before. Now I get to interact with you. It's awesome.
That's cool. So I mean, I just feel like that kind of like made me stay longer, but it was time for me to go. It was, it was becoming a lot. You work and you take care of the person where you stay at. Like, it's just, it felt like you was never really like off. So it was
Yeah.
just time. I mean, I'm still out in the area. I'm only like 10 minutes away from where I used to live, but I think it was just time. I don't
So,
really think it's
because of
nothing
privacy,
wrong. Hmm?
because of privacy.
Just privacy, being able to do what you want to do. You know, your kids can, when people get older, they get annoyed by little things and stuff like that. Something that may not annoy you younger would annoy someone older. You
Mm.
know, my mom would complain, and it was just like, oh, yeah, it's really time to go. Her or Tony, just when you're in that space, and it's like we're all helping each other, but then it's like in the back of your head, it's like, yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So
You
what
know,
Rob? So
What about
first,
you, Rob?
Rob B. First,
Yeah,
tell us: have you ever lived at home, moved out, or lived with your spouse, or lived by yourself?
all of the above.
yeah.
Okay.
All of the above. And each of those experiences was valuable in its own right. I needed to leave my household because I was raised by a very harsh disciplinarian, and I couldn't have any real. I didn't feel like I had any real sense of independence living at home. That it wasn't something that I was afforded. Um, Living with a partner, of course, I made it. Olivia, I hear what you're saying financially. Doesn't make sense to leave the nest early like that, but there are extenuating circumstances. There are times when you just need to cut and run,
Mhm.
find your own way.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, those lessons don't come cheap. And luckily, whenever I tripped, fell on my face, I had someone who had my back. My family had my back. When things really fell apart and I needed a roof over my head, I was welcomed with open arms. So I was very, very fortunate in that respect. Living on my own taught me to be very independent and comfortable in my own skin. It taught me to be completely self-reliant in even in an emotional sense. When I was responsible for everything. So if I felt lonely, I needed to reach out to my friends. I needed to act on it. It wasn't. It taught me my real independence. Living with the wrong partner taught me valuable lessons about what I would not tolerate in relationships. And for the last 5 years, I've been living happy with Joe. We click. We both have a lot of that same life experience. So while it might cost you a little bit, there's value in each of those experiences, Olivia. Even like when you're saying, like, moving at 19 was a mistake. No, it wasn't, because you gained wisdom, you gained life experience, and it, like you said, it cost you, but there is value in it.
Right.
I agree. I do want to
I agree.
say, I feel like me and Olivia lived together at one point in
We,
our early 20s.
we did in
We was
Southwest.
together
In
all the time.
Southwest.
Yes, like
Yes.
every day, and we worked together.
Trouble.
But
Oh,
we
Wow.
wasted so much money. That's all I think about is
Yeah.
how much money was wasted. I don't know. And when I get older, from where I am now, maybe I'll even have a different perspective. But right now, I think about what I could have done. Because there's so many things I want to do with my life that I don't have money for. That I look back and I'm like, wow, I could have used that money to do what I want to do now. But maybe when I get a little older, a little more contempt, a little more like comfortable with who I am, maybe I'll I'll be able to accept it. But
Right.
right now I'm still like beating myself up because there's so many things I want to do.
Yeah.
Mm. I,
mhm.
I mean,
I feel like,
you live and you learn.
yeah, exactly. Oh, you just, it's not like the bad times or the things that maybe were harsh in life, like they're gonna all of a sudden start feeling good. So you just take it. You don't attach to it too much.
Right.
You don't emotionally attach too much. Do you
So
guys have
Rob,
any sorry, go ahead.
Robbie and Mello, one or the other. Is there any age a person should move out? Go.
when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
They're all unique circumstances. They're all unique.
Yeah, that's so good. That's a really hard.
And
That's
Yeah.
hard to answer.
Olivia, there's societal norms too. I mean, what is deemed appropriate in one culture isn't deemed appropriate in another. And I mean, that's financial reasons, that's access to property, just a space to live. When you're talking about India, well, damn it, there's a billion people in a tiny sliver of land. That's,
Yes.
yeah, no one's moving out of the house because, well, there's nowhere to move to. So,
Right.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, that awkwardness of, hey, you think your parents are asleep? Shh, be very quiet. Shh.
Yeah. That's not
There's,
fun.
no, there's relief, but no
And
passion. Mm.
I feel like in the I feel like the black community, they sometimes forces their kids out of the house early. I really do feel like
Yes,
that
they do. Yes,
because
they
it,
do.
and I've always had these conversations. I had them with Olivia before. I feel like with like Caucasians,
They
kids still
build
have their room. Like they
they
come home,
build
room still
their
be the
houses.
same. You know, you can come back home, you can be comfortable. I always felt like that. And I'm just like, I wouldn't do that to my girls or my son. Like I wouldn't. I mean, we gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
They build their houses. They build their houses so their children can stay there.
People be ready to kick their kids out. I'm ready for
They
you
get
to go when you turn 18. They be ready to kick them out. I be like,
It's true.
dang.
It's true.
But
We
it's
gotta figure out,
true.
like, we gotta talk about that one time, like the different cultures and how they feel about like that. What is it called? It's not a rite of passage,
um
but like when the child is growing up in different cultures and stuff. Because we
when I
kind of Rob on our main show we talked about it with millennial wealth and how like the um, black millennials compared to like their white counterparts and you know how their family has wealth and that's how white people are able to build wealth after that for their children and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
So yeah, we got to talk about that.
So I'm
Yeah,
curious.
it's a lot.
You think it's more? Do you think it's a cultural thing or is it an economic thing? Just depending on
both
where they're situated. Because
both
I'm thinking that a middle class, affluent Black American family wouldn't necessarily want to kick their kids out at 18 because the financial burden of feeding that person isn't there.
Hmm.
is
So
both.
Very true.
Right.
That's a
it's
good
I
point.
lived when I was in Ethiopia. My they don't have any money. They're compared to us, they're poor. Okay, so they set like my brother's mom literally had bedrooms for me and everyone, just like what I thought white people did. You know,
Hmm.
she had everything. She said, "I'd rather you all stay here." She cooked us food. She gave us drink. She gave us everything, space we needed. But then we were poor, but she made everything accommodable because she'd rather us be home than accommodating, or she'd rather us be home. And I felt like that was a culture difference. I felt like for the first time, I'm like, wow, I see somebody that looks like me that wants to accept me into the household. She's not trying to kick us out, like, oh, you guys go do this and you go do that. But we didn't have any money. We're poor. We're living in a small space. But she actually made space for us and
Right.
gave us
Yeah.
food that we like to eat too, and food we like to drink.
Right.
Okay. So it's
But when
both
I was
basically is
living at
what you're
home,
saying.
I did pay bills. I paid rent. I bought my own food and toiletries. I did all that when I was at home. It wasn't like I was just doing the bare minimum. I paid the
You
rent that was
clean
asked.
house too.
I cleaned the house. Yeah, I did. I did all of that. I cooked dinner for everyone at times. I bought my own toiletries like I did what was asked.
Let me see.
So,
Let me read some of the comments really quick and then ask you guys for your thoughts, final thoughts.
You
Jose
want
said,
Go ahead.
Uh,
My
oh,
bad.
Jose said my parents did. Wait, I don't know what that says, Joe. She said my parents did renos the minute I drove away.
They did
Neil said,
renovations. Yeah,
"Oh,
and
renovations."
and my room became beautiful computer room slash home office when I moved out too. It was nice.
Oh, they were ready for you guys to go. Neil said it's not just Black community. Jose said holy autocorrect. Sorry about that. Steph said both. Lizzie said really, my aunt has a house full of grown people. I think she said that. Yeah, living with her. Folks barely working drives me crazy. Steph said yes, both because some parents ask their kids for rent money. That's crazy to me. Olivia, I gotta go. Call me soon, Steph said. It's not enough for some people. Liz said my parents had a rule. Folks 18 and older need to be either in school or working. There has to be a goal. If you had a job, you're contributing to the bills. Steph said my mom moved entire apartments for a smaller space to get us out. Thank you for the comments, guys.
Shout out to Steph. Steph Star Radio.
Thank you.
Shout
Thank
out.
you.
And then Antonio said, Antonio on Facebook said, yeah, how do you, we could ask this as a closing question for the panel. How do
Yeah.
you grow up if you're always living with your parents? Robbie, go.
You don't. You need that experience. Even leaving the city that you grew up in, because I know I left town. I've lived in a couple of different markets, and then found myself back in my hometown. And then when I encountered people who've never left the region, who are still running with the same high school clique, who are still the same four besties, and who really haven't grown as far as their viewpoints are concerned, I find that it's tragic to see a lot of these adolescent adults who've just never grown. And that first step, you need to be out on your own. You need to be independent and be comfortable in your own person.
Yeah,
Mello?
I like that.
I mean, I think that moving out, it's just, how can I say it? I think it's building, it builds you for just separation. At some point, parents, they pass in life. Like, it's breaking that connection that you have. Like, I have a really close connection with my mom. Me being out, like, it's still there, but
Different.
it's just different now. You know what I'm saying? I think that all of that, it's helping build you as a person, as an individual. You understand what I'm saying? Just be disconnect. I mean, your mom is your everything for most people. I mean, just growing up, a lot of people have a really close connection with, their mom or their dad. So just that barrier that's being broken when you having to move on and you're not living there with them, I think that's just building something in you to have that disconnection. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're not there seeing them every day. As a child, that's all you see, mom and dad, or mom or dad, every day. When you moving out on your own, it's just different now with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just building something as you get older, that disconnect. Not saying it's a big disconnection, but it's just building you into being the person that you are without your parents, without them there all the time. And it's not a bad
Exactly.
thing, but
Right.
Yeah. You're building your own person, like being
Yep.
yeah,
your own person. Good. That's a
it's
good
like
point.
cutting the cord.
Yeah.
Cutting the cord.
Cutting the cord.
You're
Good one,
cutting the
Mello. Yeah.
cord.
Yeah,
So
that's
thank
true.
you, Robbie. Thank you, Mello, for joining us for this segment. We're so grateful for you all.
I'm so
No
glad it worked
problem.
out,
I
Yeah.
know. Finally, we have all
right?
of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
We're going to get into our game, right? Oh,
Um, do we have time to do the game?
oh yeah. No, we don't. It's okay. We
Yeah,
can do it next
because I
time.
actually have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, that's much better. Definitely need to get to that. Okay, let's
so,
close it out.
so thank you guys. This was an awesome girl. Was Oh, was this an awesome show or was this an awesome show?
This was a really good show. Sorry, I'm commenting. You guys have a lot of good comments. Thank you,
Oh,
Chris.
let me show
Thank you, Stan.
everybody Charcoal for Cinco de Mayo because he was showed on in the earlier, but we're gonna repeat because conversations repeat. So we're repeating.
She said, because conversations repeat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charcoal, for making your guest appearance. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Rob B Rock. Thank you, Mello. It was a great show tonight. That's all the time we have. Make sure to join us prime time for another episode Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we need to get Steph, because I know Steph, that's my girl. We need to get her on for next episode. But for the next episode, you never know what might happen.
You never know what might happen. And you can see more Unscripted on Instagram at TLS Live Show on our IGTV. But for now, we need your support. So don't be shy and like, follow, share, and comment like you guys are doing now. And tune in every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to give you our final thoughts and shout outs.
Final thought is to Rob B Rock, to Mello for joining us. And I have to shout out Gianni Storm because she makes my spirit happy.
Thanks.
You make
You always slice my head.
Dude, like somehow, like you just give me good energy, good vibes in my spirit.
Thank you, O. You do too. Shout out to you, O. The beautiful, the magnificent, the spiritual and mystical O. Olivia, sorry to you guys. She's O to me. And shout out to Liz E. She had a really good comment. Why would they get, sorry, I wanted to read it. Why would they get on their own if they can live at home for free? Why burden your parents with taking care of you as an adult when you can contribute to taking care of yourself? So that was a good comment. But you guys can always leave comments whenever we go live, like I said, every Wednesday. And shout out to, who should I shout out? I don't know. Shout out to you guys. Oh, shout out to Chris. Chris, I work with Chris on the production Fragile. Shout out to you for sticking around in the comments. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
All right, you guys, that's all we got. See you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. If you want to have a subject, if you have a subject you want to discuss with us or you want us to discuss, DM Truth by Shenanigans on any of the social media platforms, put in Unscripted, and tell us a subject you want us to discuss or want to discuss with us.
Exactly.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.